Okay, guys, before we get started on this, this next little, I just wanted to come in and tell you that this next little excerpt, or the first part of this video, I actually started it while I was in that, or I tried to start it while I was in the middle of the silver refine, and I never got to it. But anyway, what I want to do is just let you know that that excerpt, or the very first 3 or 4 minutes of this video, it's blurry. That new camera, I'm just going back to my old one because that was supposed to be like a vlogging camera or whatever they call it. Anyway, but it doesn't have macro, which means it's pretty much worthless, at a distance like this. And this one I can even get closer with if I set it on the macro. But that camera has to be, almost 4 feet away to get a proper focus, 3-4 feet away. And a lot of stuff I do many times is close up or within about a foot, very similar to this. So I just wanted to let you know that the first few minutes of this is going to be blurry, and then I'm going to be using this camera because I just want to use that original footage to show you what I did. So let's get to it. Well, welcome to a quick little gold refine here. This is actually some pins and filters that I actually started last winter. And I'm actually in the middle of that contact silver refine right now. But I figured I would bring you guys in on this and show you what I'm doing. And some of these, pins, that's why I actually don't take pins anymore, because, some of them dissolve really fast and some of them take, months. But anyway, we finally got our last of them in here. I'm going to go ahead and pop this out. So that is our last filter. There's actually some gold in that funnel that I'm going to take out, but you can see we got a nice little smear of gold going down there. So let me get a brush and some water, and we're going to brush that thing out. And get all the gold out of it. So the first thing I'm going to do is a quick little rinse to rinse the loose stuff. And then I'm just going to leave this beaker like this. I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to clean this, because there is gold stuck to it. And then after that, we will get this in aqua regia and get it dissolving and see what we got out of a 8-month or longer pin dissolve. I know there's quicker ways to do this, and I actually did a lot of them in old AP and just finished it out instead of, I don't want to lose any of that, instead of using new acid. But near the end I had no choice but to use new acid. So we still got a pretty good little amount of stuff in there, so let me scrub this real good. Spray that off, make sure we get all of it. And I'll wipe this off with a paper towel too, and I'll put it in my gold bin. And then we're going to spray this real good. Let me get the squirter because it'll do a better job. I really was trying to evaporate most of the water out of this, so I'll have to do that again after I get my water boiling. But what I'll do is I'll set this on the stove on low heat, and I will slowly evaporate that water off, and then we are going to put some aqua regia in here and see how much gold we got. It was a couple of, I think it was a couple of pounds, and some little, there was a handful of those little transistors, or not reasons, whatever they are, the little three-legged gold guys, and there was maybe a few hundred grams of some nice heavier gold plate, and a lot of mixed junk. So anyway, I'll get back to you when we're ready to put some acid in this. Okay guys, we've got most of our, I evaporated most of the water out of this a while back. The filters themselves are still, damp and wet, but it's not really going to matter that much. So I'm going to just go ahead and rinse the side of this down with a little bit of HCl, just to make sure I've got all that down like that. And then I'm going to actually cover this in HCl, and then we're going to start adding a little bit of nitric, a little at a time. So like I said, this was from, it finally finished up while I was doing the silver, this past silver refine. We may have to get another jug of HCl, because there's another one spent. But anyway, I actually, like I said, I put these on, I don't remember exactly what month it was, but it was in the winter. I know that, and it was near the beginning of winter. So I think it was about the time Andrew, it was close to the time Andrew sent me that big box. That if you want to go, I'm not going to go back and look at the videos, but that will be about when I put these pins on, because I know it was right around that time. It was just after that, sometime, when he sent me all those connectors and everything like that, and donated them to the channel. But that was when I put these on originally. So I've got this out near the end. Let me turn the back fan on. Let me get another jug of HCl, and we're going to get these started. It's not really going to be a whole lot going on. Just, I'll show you when we start getting a reaction, and then we're just going to let it go and filter it off. This hopefully is just going to be a simple 1, 2, 3 thing, and then we'll see what I got out of about 8 months worth of pins going. And I know there's faster ways to do it, and I know you can do it with sulfuric acid. I don't like sulfuric acid. I don't know why. I prefer nitric acid, and some people say the nitric is even more dangerous, but I think the sulfuric is. Just a matter of opinion, I guess. I'm just not fond of using sulfuric acid. So that's why I do it in AP. And two, I don't have to mess with it. I just put it out there, and either sometimes it's a few days, sometimes it's several months, but it's no hurry for me. So all right, let me get another jug of acid, get the fans going, and we'll be right back. Okay guys, I got us another jug of HCl, and like I said, I'm just going to cover this right close to covering it. Take a thing and push. I'm going to try and push that down, because we shouldn't need a whole bunch to dissolve this. Like I said, it was mostly, there was some good pins, but it was mostly like mixed pins and not full plate. And also there was those little, I can't remember what that's called, they're little three-legged things, and the bottom and the legs are gold plated. They look like, I guess, a little transistor or something, and there's a couple other oddball things going on in here. And so like I said, I'm not looking for a ton, but we'll see what we get. So let's go ahead and put in a couple pipettes of nitric. Let me get a watch glass. We'll cover this up when it gets rolling, and see what we can get out of these bad boys. And I'm going to put 3 in for right now, which is not a full 3. It's about 7.5. This guy's cracked. I got to get another one. And we're just going to leave it set for a second and see if we start getting any reaction. I shouldn't have to put it on heat because it's not really that, you know, it's nice out today, but it's not cold. So let's see if we're getting anything going in here. If it doesn't do something in a couple of seconds, I'll go ahead and hit it with another one. Let me get a new pipette. And this normally is supposed to be, you know, proper, I guess proper AP is 3 to 1. Not AP, AR. I don't really do that. I don't like pre-mixing it because I think you waste a lot of nitric acid, and I think most of the time you can get away with a lot less. See, we are getting a little reaction already in here. So I'm going to just let that go for a second and not put any more in right now. But a lot of times, like I said, you can get away with a lot less nitric acid. I don't think you need that, you know, that 3 to 1 or even 5 to 1, you know, 4 to 1, whatever it is. There's what, almost probably 150 milliliters, maybe a little more of HCl in here right now. And I basically, because that pipette had a crack in it, I was only putting about 7.5 total, probably 2.5 milliliters at a time with the pipette. So there might be 10 milliliters in there at best. I say it's closer to 7.5, and we are getting a reaction. So that just goes to show you don't need tons and tons of nitric acid. It doesn't have to be 25%, you know, nitric acid or 20% nitric acid to work. And hey, that's the expensive part. All right, so I'm going to let this sit. We'll come back and look at it in a little bit because basically it's just going to bubble until we don't see any gold anymore and goes in the solution. So we'll be back at you then. Okay guys, we're just popping back in for a second. It's been about probably 15-20 minutes. I just checked it. There's still a few little foils left in there, but I would say 90-95% of our stuff has been dissolved. So once again, I'm just going to leave it sit for a while just to be sure, and then we're just going to filter it out, clean it up, denox it with some sulfamic acid, and then we're going to drop it. We're going to see what we get out of this stuff. So I just wanted to show you where we were at. Like I said, I'm just going to let it go for a while just to be certain, because I know there was some very fine black powder in there wrapped up in those filters. So I want to make sure most of that, or all, I want to make sure all of it, not most of it. I want to make sure all of that gets dissolved. There was several plug filters in here, and I actually see some heavy foils. Heavy. I'm telling you, I can't talk. I got to get used to these teeth. Some heavier foils in there. I'm going to put a little bit more nitric. I don't see a lot of reaction going on. Like I said, I'd rather be safe than sorry. I mean, I've been working on these for 8 months, thereabouts. So I want to make sure we get everything out of them. But that's another reason I don't take pins. I don't do the electro, you know, the sulfuric, where you can use like electrolysis or reverse electrolysis to take the gold off, because like I said, I'm just not fond of sulfuric acid. And I don't do that many pins anymore. Not that I'm not gonna, but this is the way I'm gonna do them. So I see some more reaction going on in there. I'm just gonna let it go, and we'll be back at y'all in a bit. Okay guys, I know it's a couple days later. We're gonna get out here, and so that has sat for a while, so it should be for sure everything dissolved. It is actually kind of very, very hot out here today, so I don't know that I'm going to be out here that long. But I'm going to go ahead and get this filtered off. And then we are going to we'll probably go ahead and drop it and see what we get out of it. So let me get this Let me get this camera on the stand and we'll go through a little bit of the filtering process. So I'll be right back. Okay guys, we're getting ready to go. The main thing with filtering is, once again, you just want to make sure, and I'm going to be stepping in and out of the camera view because I've got some other things going on, so I can't put the camera on the other side. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started. And like I said, with this, the main thing you're going to want to do is just make sure you have everything rinsed, you know, and everything cleaned out really well. You've got a lot of paper in here from filters, because we had several filters. So we're just going to go ahead and grab. Normally I would try to, you know, not put these all in at once, but we don't really have too much option because it's mostly all filter papers. I can try and hold them back a little bit and squeeze it, but we're going to have to rinse these till they're clear anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It's all going to end up in here. Pretty good stack of filters there. It's going to take a lot of rinsing on this batch. But, hey, at least this one's for me. And I would venture to say this is going to be pretty cold by the time we get done rinsing this, because we're pulling a strong vacuum, and by doing that we're going to make this colder. Doesn't look like we're going to have to filter it twice, although I haven't put any sulfuric acid in it yet, so we may end up having to do that again. But the main thing I want to do right now is get these bad boys cleaned out. And know that I'm touching gold, so anything you touch this with while it's in this filter, you're going to want to rinse thoroughly, because you will be removing gold if you don't. So that's what we're doing. I just wanted to show you how much filter paper we got there, because it was several different little batches here and there and whatever, and several different filters. Plus I did a plug filter, so you know, a couple large plug filters, so we got a lot of cotton in there as well. Anyway, you can see we are getting a nice clear solution, so I'm happy with that. We're still running color out the bottom, so I'm just going to continue to do this. There's no point in putting you through it. I'm going to continue to do this till what we got coming out here is clear. So we will get back at you then. Okay guys, several minutes has passed. We're actually getting, you know, when I'm comparing the color against the back of the funnel nozzle there, it's actually clear now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another, this is called a just in case. I'm going to put that in there. We're going to bring it up to vacuum. And once again, we're going to let that go ahead and filter through. And I may do another little bit just to be safe. I like to make sure that we get all the gold. So, I mean, yeah, it takes more time to rinse, but what's the point in doing this if you're going to throw gold away? So, I'm actually going to go ahead and keep repeating it, or I'm going to repeat this one more time. And then we'll take a look at the plug or the you know, the wad of filter papers, make sure we don't have any color on them. If there's even a slight color on them, they're going in the gold bucket anyway, the burn bucket. So if there is anything left on it, you know, it'll be in there, so it won't be thrown away. So I'm gonna just let this go, and I'll get back to you when we're getting ready to take all this crap out of this filter. Okay guys, we have finished up. We had a tint of color come out in the beginning, but when it was all said and done, it started dripping really, really clear. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this off, set that in there for a second. I'm going to add this to our main solution. Rinse it out real good. And then we're going to pull that plug. So let me set this over here out of the way. We don't want to spill that. And now we're going to go ahead and pull this plug out. I see no color, so that's what we want. Get something to set this on, because we're just going to throw it right directly into the gold melt pot, or the gold melt paper. So we'll pull this out. Get to the filter itself, and no color. So that's what we want. You want to make sure you get all the color out of that. So I can go ahead and rinse this through now and clean up, and then we're going to do our drop and let it settle overnight. So we'll be back in just a second. Okay guys, so we have warmed this up. What we're going to do now is we're going to start adding a little bit of sulfamic acid and denox it, see if we drop anything else out of it. So we are getting a slight reaction, so I'm just going to keep doing this for a while until I don't get a reaction. So I'll get back at you then, and then we'll go ahead and drop this and we'll see what we get out of it. Alright everybody, we have got this denoxed. The next thing I'm going to do is get some SMB. I think I should have enough left in this bottle to do it without having to run into my office and get a little more. I'm going to go slow with this. I'm not going to put it in any water because we've already got plenty of water in here. And go ahead and get to it. Let it cool for a while. So, and this is, like I said, this is the one thing I don't like about sulfamic acid. I don't never know if this is going to foam up or it's not going to foam up, because I have it, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, so I just don't know. Alright, so let's get to it, see if we can get some gold out of this. Oh, looks like it didn't foam up, and I'm going to put some more in there just for good measure. The heck, just a touch more, because I really have no idea what to expect out of this lot. And remember, this does put out quite a bit of sulfur dioxide, so you know, make sure you're holding your breath when you do this, and walk away like I just did to take a breath, so that you're not right on top of it. Well, one good thing, I don't see anything sticking to the stick, so that means it should be dropping heavy. So I'm going to go ahead and get this up on the shelf, get it covered up, and we're just going to leave it sit and see what we get. Okay guys, I just came out to check this right quick. It's been about 45 minutes and we just had that small separation line. So it's not dropping out as fast as I would have liked, but we do definitely have some gold in the bottom there. You just can't see it. So I'm gonna let it go overnight, and we'll get back at it tomorrow. Okay guys, it's the next morning. I actually poured off what had settled. It still hasn't completely settled. This drop is very, very dirty. I don't know why, but it is. And I'm going to go ahead and filter this off and re-refine it and see what we can get out of it. Like I said, it's just really nasty. I don't know why it's so dirty, but hey, that happens. You never know. So anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's no big deal. I'm just going to run it through a filter, and then I'm going to hit it with Aqua Regia again and see if we can't clean it up a little bit. So I will get back at you after that. Okay guys, I just wanted to show you we are filtering this off now. I'm kind of disappointed with this. I actually expected there to be more gold and better gold in this stuff, but hey, again, you never know. So I just wanted to pop in and show you, because I always do this, that I am doing the filter, and we're going to re-refine it, see if we can get anything out of this. That'd be a lot of, even though it wasn't hands-on time, it'd be a lot of wasted time if we don't get, you know, at least a couple of grams of gold out of this. So we'll be back at you. Okay everybody, I went through the process of just filtering this off and dropping the filter in there and redoing it. No point in putting you through that. We did the same thing, except this time we've got a much prettier solution. So I'm going to go ahead and get the camera set up again, and we're going to go ahead and filter this off and drop it again, see if we can get something that looks a little more presentable. So we'll be back at you then. Okay guys, once again, like I said, we are going to filter this off. We have a much prettier solution. So let me go ahead and get this fired up, and let's do this. Same scenario, we are going to filter this till it's absolutely clean. A little bit harder with just one filter. It's balled up, so it's kind of hard to get a good clean rinse, but we will do it. I just don't want to put too much fluid in there, you know what I mean? In fact, let me put a glove on and some gloves, and let's just squeeze this booger out. Okay, let me peel this up. See, what's happening here is because we've got a balled up filter, we're not getting all of that, so we need to kind of just squeeze it out. Work it out. You want every bit of that, every speck of that color, because that color is gold. Okay, I believe we have it. Pop this on for one more second. Just in case, we're going to throw that in our gold burn bin. Final little rinse, and we should be good to go. We'll just put it in a little bit smaller beaker, I think, for our drop. Well, we can use this one, that's fine. It's already dirty, or not dirty, but already ready for gold. So I'm going to let this finish out, get this denoxed. I'm just going to put some sulfamic acid in it. Actually, I'm going to use urea because there shouldn't be anything in it, and I like urea better. I don't know why, I just do. But anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and get that done, and then we'll do this drop. So we'll be back in a bit. Okay guys, we are going to go ahead and do our drop once again. I'm using more SMB than I should need. But let's go ahead and do this. We're not going to need any water. We have plenty of water. Booyah. Booyah. I'm going to stir it for just a second. Try not to hit the sides so we don't streak up the gold. A long time ago, somebody in the comments told me about stirring it after you put your SMB, and it seems to make the particles bigger, which it does actually seem to do that. So I'm going to continue to do this. I see some stuff on the rod, but not real fine stuff. We should get a quick drop this time. We've already got some gold floating. Go ahead and take care of that real quick, and basically I'm going to set this on the shelf and let it go. So we'll get back at you when this drops out, and maybe we can melt it this time. So we will see you in a bit. Okay guys, I guess about 30 minutes has passed, and we do have a small, I don't know if you can see it there, a small dividing line. It's actually, I expected it to drop a lot faster, but anyway, so hopefully, like I said, hopefully this time we'll be able to at least melt this powder. It does look nice in the bottom, what I can see, but again, like I said, I actually kind of expected it to drop a little bit faster, but hey, it is what it is. Alright guys, I'm gonna let this set probably till tomorrow, so then we'll get back out here and get our powder washed and get this thing finalized after 8 months. Alright, so we'll be back at you then. Okay guys, I think this camera's working correctly. Maybe it is, maybe it ain't. It looks to me through the viewfinder like it's okay. But anyway, we have rinsed and cleaned our gold, and we're going to put this in a dish and get it melted and see what we ended up with. Even though maybe you can tell by the amount of this powder, this is why I don't do pins anymore. I will be more than happy to do foils and a foil refine, but that's a long time. You know, it's not hands-on. It's not like, you know, it was physical work, but I still had to deal with the buckets, moving them around, you know, checking them, filtering them, the whole shot. So anyway, there is a absolutely good reason why, to me, it's only beneficial to do pins for myself. Beyond that, you know, I mean, 1 and 1 still equals 2 in my book. So let me get this poured out into a dish, get the torch set up, and we're going to see what we got out of approximately 8 months worth of waiting. So we'll be back at you in a bit. Okay guys, this is a wet melt. Excuse me, you have seen me do this many times. So I just dispensed with pouring it in here and, you know, rinsing it all into the bowl. This is actually wet powder. So I'm going to start by, you know, just warming it and drying it out, and then I'll put in full heat to go ahead and melt it so we don't get any spattering, because you don't want the spattering so you don't lose any gold. So as normal, I will time lapse this, and let's just get to it and see what we got out of this. Okay guys, there is our little gold button. We've got it set up to pull out already. I can already tell you that there is probably a slight bit of palladium contamination in this button, simply because it was sparking, you know, while we were right at the end of the melt. And right here, and I'm going to show you right now why I don't take pins anymore. Most of that gold probably came from the higher quality pins that were in this batch, but this is, I venture to say, a kilo, probably a couple of pounds of pins, plus some really good pins. And there's the button. Not that it's not worth going after, not that there's not gold there, but as far as doing it as a refine for part of the material, that right there should show you there's just not enough there to do that. So let's get inside, check it out, and we'll be back at you in a bit. Okay guys, we have made it inside. We're actually going to grab the scale now and see what this booger weighs. I always have a problem finding a level spot. My desk has had a lot of stuff go across it, or bench, or whatever you want to call it. There we go. Alright, so let's see what we got. Put a little dead weight on it. Alright, and there that is. And we have 2.02 grams. As I said outside, I'm gonna do something right quick here and show you something. So I'm gonna be off camera for a second, and I will be right back. Okay guys, right quick, I'm just going to go over this and just kind of do a little sum up of this video. Right here you can see I divided this up as if it was a job refine. So this would be the customer's end, this would be my end. So there's 1.5 grams here and 0.5 gram here. What I wanted to show or talk about real quick, and then I'll let you go, is a while back when I made my videos, I actually made a couple of videos about what I accept and don't accept for refining. And naturally I got hit by a troll, which is, you know, I'm not going to tolerate that kind of crap. I've often said it. You know, if I get a comment that's troll worthy, I just delete them and block them and the heck with it. But basically it was saying I was lazy because I didn't want to do the pins. I didn't want to do any of the work, you know, to get, okay, this right here. Again, there are faster ways to do it, but even if I did the sulfuric method with this, where I was using sulfuric acid, which I don't like doing in the first place, and reverse electroplating, for this amount of pins, there was probably over 1 kilo. There was probably, you know, over 2 pounds of pins. Really only about a few 100 grams of them were what I would call good high-end pins, which is probably where most of this gold came from. The other stuff was pretty much junk. Even though I still pull pins, I got little bottles and bags of them everywhere. So basically, if it's your material, it's worth it to do it. If it's not your material, it's not. It's just simple math. Right now, gold is at 1642, which is actually pretty low. If I had the money, I'd buy some. But 1642 divided by 31.104 equals $52 a gram. So we have 2 grams of gold here times 2 equals, we've got $105 worth of gold divided by 4 equals, so my end is $26.39. So there's $26.39 worth of gold here. Alright, granted, again, like I said, there's faster ways. I did get to use up my AP. That was kind of, you know, okay, but I still have a gallon and a quarter of hydrochloric acid tied up, new hydrochloric acid, to finish these off. So that right now is about $12, $13. So let's just call it $12. So there's $26.39 basically worth of gold, minus $12 equals $14. So let's call my end $15 worth of gold. Now, I had to move it around all winter and all summer. Then I had to filter it several times. I had to, do the refine on the filters, so on and so forth. Actual work time in it, I probably have a couple hours. So basically, I could be flipping hamburgers at a hamburger joint and making more money than doing that for somebody. Yes, I do it for the metal, but I do like to come out at least a little bit above for my work. So that's the reason I don't do that. And anyway, back to the troll thing, about saying that it's lazy. It's not lazy. It's simple numbers. 1 and 1 equals 2. If it starts 1 and 1 starts equaling 1 or minus 1, there's no point in doing this stuff. So I just wanted to throw that in real briefly and explain the process, why you can't do it. You can if you want to. It's totally up to you. I'm not going to do it. I can't put that much time into something when I could be doing something that's going to yield me a fair portion of the split. Not to say again that pins aren't worth harvesting. They are. They're very much worth harvesting for yourself. If you want to take them, put them through the AP process where you get foils, save up your foils from 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds of pins, something that's at least going to give a couple grams like this. And I'll be happy to refine that for you and get it down to, to pure gold, because then I'm just doing that part. I don't have to, waste bucket space, move stuff around, deal with it, filter it out, time and time and time again. So anyway, guys, I'm going to let you go. I just wanted to explain that real quick and show it to you. I'm going to throw this stuff in my batch and for the year and keep going. I've got a couple more little things I want to show you before we start on our next job refine. I'm actually going to fool with this stuff, which was that silver slag. I've got a couple comments saying what to try with that and whatever. So we're going to probably do that next. All right, guys. Everybody take care. Stay safe out there, and we will see you in the next video.